have just been hacked. Could be worse than Snowden.
Facial recognition got a hit.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Welcome to Franchise Friends. I'm one of your hosts, Tyler Costello. Joined as always, I am with the beautiful Kate Strollo.
Hello.
And this week we are joined with us by the handsome Gabriel Cass and the, sure, why not, James Boyer.
I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. You okay?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you guys do a lot of stunts. I remember I came over your house and you had me rolling around and I blew out my knee within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you guys make it look easy, so...
We're going to put rolling around in big quotes, though. You're sort of just falling down
I
and
kept...
flailing.
You said roll forward, and I said, you mean to the left? To the left. We did that for about 4 hours.
Yeah, and then we said, why don't you just do the camera stuff?
Yeah, you know what? You don't need to have a fight
Yeah, after
scene.
I had a shattered knee, you said, yeah, this guy's not going to make it.
Would have just gotten worse. We're looking out for you.
And this week we are discussing Matt Damon as Jason Bourne in the great Bourne series. Of course, that's three films.
We're not specifying Matt Damon, though, are we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have 3 films of Matt Damon, intense Matt Damon, 1 film with awkward photos of Matt Damon.
That's true.
Let's just keep cutting back to young Matt Damon
Yeah.
photos.
That was just for the benefit of the trailer, I think. So they could be like,
Yeah,
look, he's involved.
It's Matt Damon's the selling point,
Yeah.
as always.
Although Jeremy Renner was the big hot ticket, everyone thought, for a year.
I feel like that was Jeremy Renner's whole career. Like,
Yeah, he's always just been like that character who's like, oh, it's Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good for you, Jeremy.
Never got as good as Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
He started off so high and...
You tried.
But guys, he's
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 not
in
bad.
Avengers.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
he's Hawkeye.
Yeah, he gets it.
You know.
he's
He's
still
got a little family.
guys. He's a movie star.
Yeah.
There's only so low
we're,
he's getting.
we're sitting in an apartment in Koreatown with no AC. So.
let's not let him know where we live. Jeremy Renner's gonna show up and go,
I heard
"Hey."
you talking shit. Yeah.
Actually, have you ever seen The Immigrant? It's really good. It's got Joaquin Phoenix, Jeremy Renner. Anyway, let's move on. We're here to talk about Bourne.
That's right.
I guess the best place to start with is Doug Liman's.
Yeah.
Is that how pronounced that correct?
Sure.
The Bourne Identity, coming out in 2002.
One of the more likable Lehman brothers.
Yeah. Well, he did.
Okay.
Wait, who's the other Lehman?
Lehman brothers, the financial people. Don't worry about it.
Like the Koch brothers.
Yeah, that one's
There we
getting
go.
cut.
We don't cut anything here.
Yeah, that's right. This is all going
No, I
on.
mean he did. Was Tom Cruise? He's running around Groundhog Day, but Tom Cruise with.
Oh,
Machine
Edge
Gun.
of Tomorrow?
Yeah,
No, they changed
Live,
the
Die,
name.
No,
Repeat?
live, die, repeat.
I'm gonna call it Edge of Tomorrow.
That was, I thought, they changed it, like, right
Yeah.
as it released. They changed the title.
But he grounded himself as like a fantastical action movie, and I feel like in the series of the Bourne Identity, this movie, compared to the other ones, is a little more whimsical.
You think so?
Kind of. It's not like it is. Do you disagree? I mean, I feel
Which one?
the first one, Identity.
Okay.
I feel like it's more like Legacy. They're kind of similar in my mind. Identity is amazing for what it was at the time. I feel like there was nothing like it. Really hard hitting action. But when you compare it to Supremacy, when you compare it to Ultimatum, like the Paul Greengrass.
I don't know. I almost feel like Identity was much more reserved. It was much more of a human story. Like, the car chase was in, like, a shitty-ass car. I couldn't top out at 60. I felt the stakes... You know, it's the nature of having sequels, is everyone has to sort of ramp up. And, you know, by the last one, they're driving, like, a cop car through the streets of New York and firing guns out the windows and everything. Like, it turned into a giant blockbuster.
Ultimatum is a little, like, it's over the top at that point. Yeah. I
Yeah.
do agree with that. Personally, with Supremacy, I think Supremacy is where the story, like, is perfect. The action seems on point. Everything, like, there's the more weight to it. With Identity, you have the German girl character who I feel really slows down Bourne's like whole persona. And with Supremacy, we start off just with her getting shot in the head, and this is Bourne unleashed. We
Carl
haven't
Urban,
seen
right?
this lad. Yeah,
Character?
yeah.
Well, yeah. Like he finally became who he was.
Right.
Like he discovered, like, okay, like, I'm Jason Bourne and I'm a spy and people are killing me and it's time to, like, fight back because I'm going to die otherwise.
Time to get activated.
Yeah.
Nothing holding them back.
Right.
Yeah, with Supremacy, his whole thing is, I told you people, do not come after me. And I feel like this whole series is poor government officials calling the wrong shots. They keep just sending agents that they create after their other agents, like, oh god, that guy's messing up. Just keep sending the other agents after him.
Yeah.
It's like a really slow kung fu movie where they can only attack one at a time.
Yeah.
The government is the real underdog of the Bourne series.
Like, every single moment, they're just like, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
That's even in the new trailer.
Yes!
That's Jason Bourne.
My god, we got facial recognition.
It's like a
Jason
unicorn.
Bourne.
So
It's like the intern in the corner, like, oh shit, they warned us about this guy at first day. They said, if you ever see the guy who looks exactly like Matt Damon, run. It doesn't matter. He will catch you.
So I really liked Ultimatum. I kind of liked it a little bit better than I liked it a
Yeah,
little bit better
I'm
than
with you
Supremacy.
there. Ultimatum's great.
I think the one thing though, to your point, it's just like, god damn it, how have you not learned at this point? Like, you're right, it is like, I guess like the only thing is like the storyline was almost like a carbon copy of the first one. I think it was more so like the editing and the direction.
Yeah, like
that
even the whole thing where
maybe
like
it
if
a
we
little
were
more.
if you were in your office, we'd be having this conversation. It was like an exact
They
rip
do
from
that
like
same
Supremacy.
thing.
And they did the like dun dun, like cut to the window of them like,
Supremacy starts off with someone close to him getting sniper rifled in the face.
Yeah.
In Ultimatum, the first 15 minutes is the guy he's trying to, like the reporter, he gets sniped in the face. Like, Jason Bourne needs to just stop talking to people, because then when he gets close, it's like he's in mid-conversation, he's like, they just fall off and they get sniped in the face. That's why, to me, Ultimatum felt like a carbon copy, but I guess I do understand, like...
Yeah, they just had to ramp up the stakes, and that seems like the only changes they really made.
Yeah,
in the third.
and...
I think I liked Ultimatum because it had a little bit of resolution at the end. Like, you actually got more of, like, his story and who he was. I think at the end of Supremacy, you were still like, what is happening here? But
That's a good
Ultimatum
point.
gave you a couple more
Yeah,
clues.
Supremacy just kind of
Like,
ends, like...
Especially,
Well, they knew there was a third.
Yeah, like at that, like, you know, at the end where he shows up back at his, like, little training facility.
Mm-hmm.
You get those scenes.
I do love the ending of
Sense.
Ultimatum when
Yeah.
he's getting hunted down by the other member of Blackbriar? Blackbriar.
Blackbriar.
Because in Ultimatum it's
Blackbriar.
Blackbriar.
Black Bear.
Treadstone is the other one. But he looks at the guy who he's got him dead in his sights, and Jason Bourne looks at him and he's like, do you even know why you're supposed to kill me? And they have that moment, and you see the hitman like, yeah, what am I doing?
You're like, oh, I guess we're both spies, huh?
Look at what they make you give. And then we're gonna cut in Matt Damon saying that. Oh, they make you give. Matt Damon.
I think we have a clip here.
Dear God, it's Matt Damon.
Here's my problem with Identity. Let's backtrack to Identity. I
Sure.
feel like we're a little all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a little gun heavy. There's a lot to cover here. But with Identity, it feels like every character he comes in contact with, it's just go with it. Just go with it. Just go with it. Like, the German broad is so willing to do everything. We need to, can you look up her name?
It's Franca.
It's Marie. That's the character name,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Marie.
that's the character name,
I do
right,
want to
yeah.
know the actress. I should give her. We'll
She
put
Well,
was
he's
just
paying
in
her.
that one.
He's paying her a good amount of money, and it's established early on that she needs money to do
And I
X.
get that, but she is just like,
I hate
okay,
it.
I'm gonna take a
Well,
shower
at a
right
certain,
now.
but at a certain point,
guess.
she's, you know, the money gets her to drive him a ridiculous amount of miles to wherever he's going, no questions asked.
The Uber
But then
identity.
But then at a certain point, she's in a car with a man who's killed a bunch of people, and it's just like,
He's
well,
got no memory
well,
either.
I'm terrified of this guy. I'm not gonna just like run away because like this guy's gonna kill me. You know, so at a certain point, like I think she was kind of a hostage.
Well, also
And
a little.
It's an interesting relationship.
go.
I almost feel like it could have been a casting issue. Like if it was just somebody else, it might have carried the story. They might have had better chemistry.
I did not like her character. It's funny because this is the first time I've watched the series, and I actually made a comment to him like 20 minutes in, and I was like, God, I really hate her character. I hope she just gets shot.
That's why I
in the
got
head."
so excited for showing her
And then
supremacy.
he
Just
like,
wait. I
he
said
just-
wait.
He actually kept her like
I
serious.
kept like,
He's like,
ooh,
oh,
she's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
see it.
And
Literally,
then
that happened. She said, "Oh, thank God." I was like, "Yeah, now get ready for Born Unleashed."
I did not like her character. I know, but you're right. There may have been a casting issue because I feel like there's probably more they could have done there. But her, I was just like, shut
Right. I mean, at that point, as the audience member, you should be like, no,
Yeah.
avenge her.
I will say, Identity has one of my favorite scenes ever. It's when he's in his apartment. He's in John Michael Caine's apartment. He goes by that alias. It's his like London or Paris apartment, and that like German hitman shows up, who's just so. I love, I love that.
He
It's
pulls the guy who pulls the pen out of his hand. Ooh,
Yeah, that's
so
when they started the,
brutal.
like, the
God, he
Bourne
stabs
trope.
him in the hand with the pen, and you're like, oh god.
And the
And then
guy's
every
just like,
movie had
oh.
to have, okay, what household item is he going to use to win a fight this time
He
around?
started with a pen.
And then he uses a book in the next one.
Oh yeah, he just punching the guy. He used a magazine in Supremacy just to beat the guy in the face.
Yeah.
It always came
And a
down to
towel.
when
Yeah.
will Jason Bourne strangle you? Like I feels like he strangles so many other secret agents. Like that's his go-to way. But I love the part in Identity though. It always makes you crack up every single time I see it, and I love it. It's when the German guy, you think he's dead, and Jason Bourne's like, I gotta interrogate this guy. You just see him stand up in the background. He looks at them, turns around, and just walks out the window and falls into the floor to his own death.
But he has
'Cause-
broken legs. I don't even know how he got up. The guy's like arms
I think
dislocated.
that's like his point. He's like, I will never give information, and just jumps out the window. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, they gotta leave.
He's also the worst assassin. He was already in the building. He killed the landlady, right? He's in the house. And he's like, you know what? I like smashing through windows.
He smashes through a window with like an SMG, just spraying bullets, not even scared. Like they break so much glass in this series. Like everyone
Wait, that's
is.
actually a good point. If he was in the building, because theoretically you'd think he was in the building because he did shoot the landlady in the head, so why did he come outside?
He loves to
and
make
through
an
a window?
entrance.
I think
This
he
guy.
was in like a
KGB.
bedroom and came
Did he
through a
come
window.
in, shoot her, and then just like walk back outside to come in?
No, what happened is he said, I'm going to wait for them to start whispering casually to each other, and then I'm going to jump out and spook
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Before my kills, I like to give him a good spook.
How y'all doing? How's it going?
Hi.
But, I mean, there's a lot to say. I think,
Well, this is a good time to bring up something that's really important.
Here it comes.
Yeah. With that fight, I mean, Bourne Identity was the first movie to start the
Shaky
intense shaky cam fighting style. They were the first ones to really popularize it, and many, many, many action films since then have done it. Some with success, most not. And it continues to this day to be a technique that's employed when shooting a fight scene because you can kind of have your actors do the fight choreography and it will most of the time cut together.
look
and
at Taken. That's Liam Neeson, like
Sure.
a 60-year-old dude looking like he can take down 30, 20-year-olds.
And that's
It's-
the worst example. You know, it's like there
I,
are films
uh,
that do it well, but like the Taken series was especially known for doing like 13 cuts for one action.
Oh my god, have you seen like the breakdown of it's Liam Neeson jumping over a fence and
7
within,
cuts.
There's 7 cuts in like 2 seconds and it's just him hopping a fence. It's like, okay, calm down.
Well, you gotta hide the stunt double's face.
Yeah. But I feel like Paul Greengrass does it a lot better in
Yep.
Supremacy. To me, I know I keep saying this, like Supremacy is the perfect Bond. I mean, not Bond, Bourne. Bond can go fuck himself. Just to be a little explicit. Jason
But
Bourne.
no, it's an interesting remark because the problem with Quantum of Solace was the same as people's complaints with Bourne, was that it was hyper edited and super shaky.
Really?
And so like it wasn't the glossy, sexy cinematography of most Bonds. It was trying to mimic poorly that shaky cam Bourne
Because it
style.
was the time everyone was like, "This is in. This is
like,
hot."
oh, Jason Bourne, we need the Jason Bourne shaky cam.
Yeah.
I like that so many like JBs. There's Jason Bourne, James Bond, Jack
Johnny
Bauer,
Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, Jack Reacher, pretty close. R kind of looks like a B.
Yeah.
They're getting real lazy with that one.
But I mean, I don't even
James
know where I'm
Brown?
going.
I mean,
James
James.
Brown, Johnny Cash,
John Wick.
John Wick.
Close enough.
Yeah.
All these
James.
Close
Jays.
enough.
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Where's he been?
It's derailing.
But yeah, we are going a little off track. But like Bourne. There's so many intense moments where you just get lost in it too. Because I remember for the first time I've ever seen you react, Kate, to a car chase scene was in like Supremacy. You like, I looked over, she's holding onto the couch. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What was the vehicle in this one in Supremacy?
Supremacy. I
Motorcycles?
think it was like a taxi cab.
It was a motorcycle, that one chase scene before he.
Is that
blew
like
up
when
and
like
died.
there's like a big bus and he's like trying to like squeeze them between?
I think that's Legacy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Renner.
that's
All right.
Wait, is it in the tunnel? Like,
It's in
that's
the
when
tunnel
the climax
towards the end.
happens?
Yeah, it's like towards the climax of that.
Mhm.
He like crashes the guy into like a pillar at
But
the end.
that was a great. I remember seeing that in theaters, and like he does something like shoots through his car door into the guy's wheel, and just because of the shaky cam, I was like, "What the fuck just
It's
happened?"
happening, yeah.
And those like fight scenes, like the one with Desh, in the apartment, and even the chase leading up to that. There's so much cool action in it, but it takes like 3 or 4 viewings to figure out what's actually happening, just because they don't hold on anything.
Yeah, like the actual choreography is really tight,
And they're
like,
talented actors.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
like
nice, though,
Matt
too.
Damon knows how to move, and like the stunt team involved is great. It's just the cinematographer and the direction decided to make it like you
barely
cannot see any of the actual motion that's going on in it. So they might as well have been just like wiggling their arms around and put some sound effects of punching involved, and then it's just like, yeah, and then he's on the ground and the sound effect of punching made it look like he punched them.
Well, I feel like that's a blanket complaint of shaky cam, but if anyone's doing it right, it's Greengrass in this film. I
Yeah.
think.
Of course.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm trying to say, like, because you guys, you do a ton of stunts. Like, that's what's so impressive. Just, like, work with you on, like, a day. Just, like, a fun shootout where it's not a big thing. You guys are choreographing. Like, James, you do some heavy directing, which I love. Just seeing you, like, okay, you're going to cut here, go down, he's going to block up. And then when I watch something like this series, the whole time I kept thinking, is like, this is insanely choreographed. Because there are some fight scenes that, like, to a layman like myself, it's beautifully done. Like, you're intense, like Matt Damon's in there. You feel the punches landing sometimes, but you know it's just them
totally.
going about it.
Well, the thing is,
So
and James, I'm going to speak for you for a
Yeah,
second.
go for it.
James,
So you need another beer.
as a little bit of an introduction to who we are, and specifically James.
Hello.
James and I have a production company in LA. It's called 10th Gate Productions, and we make action films. And James is an awesome action director.
We're rebranding with Thriller Films.
Oh yeah, thrillers. We don't make actions; they're tense tactical thrillers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
A lot
Action
of
so
T,
B
lot
movie.
of T's.
Yeah.
And James does awesome fight choreography and really cool direction. And one thing that I've learned that he really likes to do is long takes. And even though it's a lot harder to cut together that way, and like the action has to be a lot tighter and the performers have to be on point, it's because at the end of the day, you look at it and you see the performers come together, and it's like a 20 or 30-second take of like the fists flying and people falling on the ground. And
People
it's
are
just like,
flipping over each other.
this is
Yeah.
real. Like we see all the motion. The camera is staying completely still,
Yeah.
and there's not a shake to it, and it's just like fuck. Like we're seeing every single piece of motion like it's a dance, like it's an art.
Well, I want it to be inescapable. Like when you're involved in a firefight, like cutting in a way brings up that like, oh, I'm watching a film. It takes you out of it a little bit. But if you can just hold on something and like to the point where the audience is like, geez, this is a long shot.
This is happening. Yeah, like you're not cutting away. You're not afraid, and everyone's moving with it. Like, that was, I think, Gabe, you described it best. It's dance choreography, but like not like it's that to the 10th degree. It's over the top. It's painful. You guys are really flipping. You guys are doing everything that you need to do, and it's impressive once you see it all to come together. Like that's what I was saying. I was kind of in awe just watching it come together, like seeing you guys run through it like the first couple times, seeing it slow. You say, okay, let's do that at half the speed, and seeing you all do the take like that, then okay, 3, 4. Then when you finally get down to it, it moves like harmonious.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean, and that's an atypical way to do it. You watch Bourne or even like John Wick or even the stuff where these guys are martial artists. They'll still choreograph the exact moves of the fight months in advance and make sure it's all muscle memory and there's no time spent on set sort of learning which punch comes when. And so when we're doing it our style, it's much more of a shit shoot. Damn, I can never remember this phrase.
Shit show.
Shit show? That's not right either.
I think
You never
should
really.
I like shit shoots.
I like shit shoot. It's more like, oh, this.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It's a you
Filibuster.
never know what you're gonna get necessarily.
It's a grab
box
bag.
of chocolates.
Barney
That's
bag.
right.
It's a cluster fuck.
I can't wait till we cover the Forrest Gump franchise. It's that
You
and
know his
Castaway.
Forrest
Oh,
Gump.
God.
You know his name.
Can I tell you like the best joke about the Bourne series is every single time that they get excited that it's Jason Bourne or the name Jason Bourne pops up, it's so easy just to input the name Matt Damon. It becomes over hilarious if you just watch the entire series where they're like, my God, that's Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He's like, he's remembering. And it's like, this is what he does in between film shoots. Who am I?
The actor existential crisis.
Yeah, he's just constantly freaking out.
When he
He's
has
like,
one of the phone calls, it's just like Ben Affleck and not like the government agent.
what are you doing?
Matt.
I have to find out who I am. You're Matt Damon. No, I'm Jason Bourne. Just keeps tackling.
God damn it,
I just
Matt.
got off of Mars.
Matt, you weren't on Mars.
I know Jason Bourne was on Mars.
I grew up on Mars.
You know his name and his planet. Jason Bourne on Mars. John Carter. More J's. What is with J names? That's what it is. I guess that's my
Great names.
James
Most
Poy
James.
or-
Yeah.
Gabe.
Oh, this is sort of a tangent, but
Jade.
it's at least about the movies.
Yeah, thank you. Go.
Is
Keep
that-
us on track. Yeah.
In Supremacy, that's the second, right? During that,
Yes.
that roof chase, transitioning into the Desh fight, there's that fucking phenomenal shot of him jumping through the window and the stunt cameraman goes
Love it.
after him. And now it's fucking commonplace. Marvel's done it in
Mar-
like
Yeah.
2 of their movies
Every
and in
Civil
one
War,
trailer
you
now.
can
like
and
every
easily
movie.
see
What
it.
did we just see today that was...
it's not Event Horizon.
Surgeons?
It's whatever that oil tanker BP movie is with Marky
Oh,
Mark.
with Mark
Oh, right.
Wahlberg. It's
Yeah.
Horizon, something Horizon.
Some Horizon title, yeah, and it ends with him jumping
Well,
off.
yeah, it's the new go-to like epic shot where
I mean,
your
he's
hero is running on some high location and he jumps off a cliff and the camera follows the actor down, looking at their back, down into the depths of their hell, whatever they're going to, and then it cuts.
Captain
They
America
did it.
did it. Winter Soldier did it.
James Bond, definitely Spectre. They did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so that's the new like if you're doing a blockbuster, you have the hero shot of following them off a cliff.
It's like the same thing as hanging off, a cliff
Yeah.
edge. in the
and
trailer.
Bourne
like-
started it.
Born Star. I love Paul Greengrass directing because he puts you in scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love shots where you'll be just in the car with people, just looking around. It's shots you never really thought of before at the
Mm-hmm.
time. In an action movie, it's not just like a wide. You're like in the car with them. And it was funny because we were watching some of the behind the scenes footage, and like they're putting these giant lunky cameras.
Yeah.
Like what the cameraman had to have gone through to do this had to have been incentively like just crazy and just compact, and I think he does that really well. You're in the moment, you're on.
Well, it's all in service of sort of the motif of the film. It's very voyeuristic, it's surveillance, it's lots of long lenses. So you sort of feel like a spy too, or at least just this like
Yeah.
observer sort of like trying to get a glimpse, which works really well. And that's what makes the shaky cam work. And if you don't film your movie around that sort of sensibility, it just seems forced or like a cheat. When you're just doing it to sell the actress trying to throw punches.
And that's where I want to bring Legacy in. I think Legacy drops the ball. How do you guys feel about Legacy? I don't.
It's totally forgettable.
Yeah, it's painfully forgettable.
I gotta say this: if you do not try to think about the fact that Legacy is supposed to be part of the Bourne franchise, I think it's a cool standalone flick. I like the concept that there is a super soldier spy who is just trying to not be retarded. And
I think the problem comes when everything is a little convenient for him. I love the scene. He's taking blue and green pills, and then he shows up and he's like, I haven't taken a green pill in like 3 days. And she's like, oh, don't worry. You don't have to take green pills anymore. And he's like, okay, thank God, I still have blue pills, and we need to get blue pills. And like that felt a little for. I do like Jeremy Renner.
he viraled out.
Oh God.
I love the scene just
It's
he
viral
viraled
out.
out, and everyone's like, ah, shit.
I don't mind Jeremy Renner in it. It just felt like every scene where he looked in the mirror or something, it would cut to him. I was like, "You're not Matt Damon. You're not
I mean,
Jason Bourne."
The
I
dialogue
was like,
was just trash in that movie. I'm sorry, like it was fucking
Every
awful.
time
I
Rachel
hated Ed Norton's character. I'm just gonna say
oh,
that.
he was like
I
a
hated his
parody character.
Oh,
He
but-
was like,
but
"We
he-
gotta find
I
this guy,
couldn't stand
burn it
him.
down. Let's stop
But I
him."
gotta say, as much as we didn't like his character, he was probably the most handsome that we've seen him.
Oh well, I was
Norton?
saying.
Norton, you're saying?
Yeah.
I also felt Legacy, this is the fourth one, it was the most commercialized one. And that's like when they started pulling on their Ray-Bans and driving
Yeah.
super slick BMWs all over the place. And I was just like, all right, guys, you're
Yeah.
making the
It's just-
paycheck.
Well, that's the one that really, I think hit the internet digital marketing age. I was the first one out of the Bourne series to like really come into that product placement and that type of promotion, and it was just like an all-out like.
It's just weird that
mess.
it even has the name Bourne on it because
Yeah.
he plays like no part in it.
It's
It
his,
kind
like,
of takes place
1999
during the same
password
time as
photo.
Ultimatum. The timeline's so messed up that
Is it a spin-off?
reason-
That was a little confusing.
It takes place like
during the
dur-
trial.
during the last Bourne movie.
Yeah.
And but I think what it really was. Here's my
We're
theory.
gonna get ripped apart about not. But like
Here-
the timeline is confusing.
Here's
honestly,
my
this whole
theory.
series.
Have you
It's a
seen
little-
Ex Machina?
Yes. Oh, let's go. Oscar Isaac's
Here it
in
is.
this series.
So here it is.
Full circle.
Oscar Isaac was not a human. It was one of his first prototype droids.
Oh, okay. That was he
So-
built as himself. in
So
the
the
Alaska.
reason why they have a man in the middle of the wilderness is because he wasn't really a human. It was one of his first robots,
I was.
and he's stationed there to observe.
You don't think it was just Apocalypse in an earlier form?
No, no, not Apocalypse.
If this is this
Sure.
was
All
this,
three universes are connected.
this was a movie where you blow up Oscar Isaac and you should have brought him back, like just like they did in The Force Awakens. Like they blow. Here's what was so disheartening about his death scene is like you see it from far away. So in my mind, I was like, okay, Oscar Isaac, great actor. He's gonna show back up. He's gonna be the main bad guy.
Yeah, if you don't
No,
see
it's
it,
just done. It just
There's no body.
yeah. And it was such lucky. Jeremy Renner's like, I'm gonna go scout outside. Why don't you stay inside while we hear that drone coming by? Got it, good.
Yeah.
And then he's running. He's out front, and like he turns around, boom.
It's just like, oh, what's all this green and blue snow? Oh, it's the pills.
Smooth.
Yeah, his pills got all blown up. He's like, no, my Adderall. It kept feeling like someone
Adderall.
who wasn't on Adderall. It kept feeling, yeah. I guess he did a drug addict good because he kept going, where are my pills? I need pills. What do you mean you don't
I
make
need
the
the
pills?
greens.
I need greens. You don't need greens anymore. You've been viraled out. Okay, well I need blues.
Well, what about the other one?
And what are chems? Are chems the same thing? Or-
I don't believe that they got to Manila that easily. Like, come
What?
on, they got to the Philippines. Manila,
Oh
like,
yeah,
Manila, Philippines,
they just
you know,
board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you said like Manila.
like Manila
envelopes.
folder.
All right,
yeah, they
gotcha.
took. I
Um,
don't believe they got there that easily without anybody realizing
Just-
it. That
they
were-
made-
Well, they did realize it. It just,
Yeah, but
It
they
took
were like
them a while.
basically there by the time they got to the Philippines that they realized it.
well, it's a
I
long
see,
flight.
like, yeah. I mean, like, they figured they had like a 17-hour head start.
But they sent their closest operative, and their closest operative was not that close.
Also, I love that they had an operative, the LAX program, send in Lax. Should we send in Lax 3? I don't know. That seems dangerous. What's Lax 3? Send him in. And then it's just another hitman that happens to be like
Yeah.
near the Philippines or something. He's like,
He's like, oh, Mike? Yeah, he'll be there to
yeah,
see.
he shows up. He takes like a private plane. He's wearing a suit, having a great time. And then he's just running across buildings like, okay, there's my target, gotta get him. It's like, do you even know why you're doing this? Like, I feel like that's so much of the
Do
series.
you
is
think
just
he's?
get-
Do you like when you're watching it the first time? Did you think that Jeremy Renner was gonna get away from him?
Jeremy Renner does get away from. Does he? Wait, what?
Yeah, he kills him.
I was trying to prove a point that it was too convenient.
Yeah, it was like
That-
you
that
knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then you knew Mondo's theme song would come in eventually, and they'd all smile at each other.
Dun, 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 dun.
Legacy redid that
Oh,
jumping
baby! Sorry.
shot. Jeez, man. Legacy redid the jumping shot with now him like going down the like narrow alleyway.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that was
like-
pretty cool.
That is
Also in the
actually
trailer,
nice.
obviously.
He does good like hand to hand fight. Well, that was kind of what was upsetting about Legacy. Is also is like, if this were Jason Bourne, who's not a super soldier, he would have solved this movie in 15 minutes. Like all his problems.
He doesn't need those pills.
Yeah, he doesn't need pills. He's just like, just like in the new trailer, he walks up to that guy.
just needs
they're about to
answers.
fight, just punches him. My name's Matt Damon.
That's the entire new trailer. Is him just throwing punches and looking sad.
It's him going, our cover's been blown. I don't know, we got lazy. Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne. Like, that's why I kind of love that the title is just Jason Bourne.
Well, they went the Rocky route.
Yeah.
You can't just name it Bourne 5.
But I hope they end it.
You think?
I hope they just wrap it the fuck
Maybe
up.
he dies.
Well, this is
I hope they kill him.
this is a storyline that isn't really addressed throughout the whole series. Is that his contact? What's the actress's name?
It's Julia
the-
Stiles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Paris
Actress.
contact is obviously they have a huge backstory that he doesn't know about. I think that they were in love, or they're either brother and sister. Because she says like things like, "Why did?" He's like always like, "Why did you help me? What are you doing?" And she's like, "You were different.
nothing,
like we
nothing."
had a past." And you never like they never go back to it in the
Yeah.
series. And she's back in this one, and the whole trailer is about him going, "My name's Jason Bourne, and I remember everything now." So like I feel like he remembers what his past was with her, like the whole reason that she's such a big part of like the trailer as it is.
Now who I hope comes back in
So
this
she'll
movie?
probably get sniped in the head.
Right. You know who I hope comes back is the kind sailor who saves him in the first movie.
Oh my god!
I hope
He's
Jason
gonna get shot in the
Bourne.
head.
I hope the last shot of the new movie is him returning the money that he gave him in the first
Why
movie.
would he
Matrix.
do that? Oh, Jason Bourne giving him money?
Yeah,
I thought the fisherman would be giving Jason Bourne. Please don't kill me.
No.
No.
I've seen the
Just
movies.
give him like $20 to get started.
Matt Damon, stop coming to my ship. Fuck. I was just about the. Fuck.
I'm excited for
Go on,
Tommy
man.
Lee Jones
Tommy Lee Jones is back.
and
in.
Vincent Castles as the
Oh.
local operative.
Right. Castle as the guy who Jason Bourne's going to throw a magazine at and choke.
He's so old. I mean, I guess he's age appropriate. I just can't imagine those two guys
Castle
going at
and
it
Bourne?
without.
I mean,
busting a
they're
hip.
not gonna give Matt Damon some stud to fight.
Why not? Desh was like the younger, faster guy. That's what made him a very exciting opponent.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
love the Russian guy from Supremacy. Like, he's told he has 3 months off, and it's funny that he's just found again. He's just in a little middle of a Russian club drinking vodka, surrounded by strippers. He goes outside. It's the middle of the day, and they're like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "I had time off." And it's like, "Well, you told me you killed Jason Bourne." Then he gets all like hitman ready. He's out there running. He was my favorite antagonist.
What about Clive Owen? Everyone
Oh,
forgets.
Clive Owen is
Oh my-
so good. Can
yeah.
we talk about Clive Owen
The-
for a
that
second?
scene
the
is
field
great.
sniper.
With the
The-
shotgun versus sniper.
Yep.
Classic pairing.
The farm scene might be the best scene of the entire series, and, I know
And that
that's
and that
identity.
poor ex-boyfriend
Yeah.
who just who
I thought that was her cousin.
Yeah,
it?
something
No, it
like
was her
that.
ex-boyfriend.
was her
No, because
ex.
he had
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his
Really?
new wife
Right.
or whatever.
I thought it was her cousin.
No,
cousins
ex-boyfriend. It was an ex-boyfriend who was just like, it was like her college boyfriend. They broke up. He got remarried, had some kids. He was just like, the fuck are you doing here?
And it's like,
Phone
oh,
call
then the
to that.
dog goes missing. That's upsetting.
There
Right?
was no resolution.
Really
I
glazed
don't like
over.
when
You
dogs
don't
go
even know.
missing with hitmen around.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
he's fine having just some schnauzer.
Oh, you talking about Clive the dog shooter Owen?
the worst enemy of all.
That's why he didn't get the James Bond role.
I do love that scene where Matt Damon is so calm and cool, collected throughout so much of the movie. He's just like walking around, looking at maps. But in the farm scene, I love he's just holding the shotgun, turns around, blows up the propane, cuts this Clive Owen looking through a sniper, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell was that? What the fuck is going on? Did I do that?" And then he sees him running, and then just Jason Bourne with the shotgun. They're in that field, and he keeps blowing it in the air to scare like pigeons around or whatever.
Yeah.
they are,
Doug Liman
birds.
did a great job of using sound intelligently in his action scenes.
Yeah.
The car, especially, like you can hear it degrade as he's like grinding it through stairs and like putting it through its paces because it's a piece of shit car. And by the end of it, you expect like the Blues Brothers scene of the doors to fall off,
Yeah.
the engine to
Yeah.
pop out. You know, and in that scene especially, they're just using sound to hunt each other. You know, and he's like using the birds and the foliage to
distract
sort of
him.
like camouflage. And it's very smart. It was a
And
smart
then
scene.
he's not even lethal. He's just very like what's the word? He's very like each step he just does easily. He shoots him once. Clive Owen goes down. Just walks up while reloading. He knows he's no longer a threat. Kicks the gun away, and Clive Owen's just there going, "Ah, fuck, you got me."
You think he's too cool?
You ever get the headaches? No, I like it actually. I love that scene. Like, and I like how they always bring back small motifs from the last movie. Where in Identity, Clive Owen just throws it out there like, "You ever get the headaches?" And then in Supremacy, it's about Matt Damon dealing with like the really bad side effects of being like who he is. And then in Ultimatum, it's another small trait of he needs the girl's help, and you start seeing their relationship build more and more. That's why I feel like in this one we'll see her a lot more.
And then we deal with Renner having to deal with the same problems.
Yeah. Well, God, Renner.
How did they even call it a
He
Bourne
has
film?
withdrawal.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't mean to just keep jumping around, and you guys, by all means, just stop me. But these scenes
Stop.
keep on me. And thank you for joining us. That's all we have. No. In Legacy, there is a really traumatic scene. It's the scene where the one operative is just killing all the scientists that made the pills.
The active
where he
shooter
takes
scene.
the bun, like not the bun. He takes the door handle. Okay. He
Wait, where
takes,
did you get that? Where did you make that
I was gonna say
association?
button and gun, and I meant to say door handle. He takes the door handles off, like the doors in the lab. He locks it all down, and then methodically, just that was the word from before. Methodically, just goes pop, pop. He just keeps going, keeps loading the pistol, and like with all the shootings we've had,
He wasn't
really
an operative.
hard-
He was a fellow scientist.
Yeah, but they had dirt on him or something that he was triggered to kill all of them. Like, I think he was an operative. Like, he was an undercover.
Sleeper.
Like a sleeper cell.
I thought it was exposure to the chems.
That's what I thought. Is he was the one that was trying to get that program greenlit to start
Doesn't make
working
any
on
sense.
like
No,
different
that-
types of chems, and there was also that shot where he was in the lab and that blue liquid was being put into the vials, and it was seeping out. You remember that? They showed a couple shots of it
Is
seeping
that
out.
what it is?
So
That
he
makes-
was exposed to that chemical,
Yeah.
and then you
Is
cut back
that
to
what
Rachel.
that all meant? Because it made
Yeah.
way more sense in my mind that he was a sleeper cell, and Edward Norton was like, "We got to get rid of everyone who was a part of this program." That's why he only kills people that were. He locks the door. They're like, "We need to get into this room. Only
Well-
people with car codes can get in that room, and they're all in there."
Okay, well, I'm
like,
gonna
why
validate
would that be?
this.
So, okay,
I'm gonna
I
validate
feel like
this.
I'm right.
I feel like I'm right.
Okay, I feel
So
like we
I'm going
might.
to validate this because there's a part, a couple scenes later, where Rachel
Maybe we
Weisz
should watch
is-
these movies.
Nah.
where her character is talking to Jeremy Renner, and she said that they were working on some different types of serums and some different types of chems that would actually allow for behavioral modification in
Yeah.
terms of mind control and essentially controlling behavior. So that's where I kind of put two and two together and was like, okay,
Yeah.
he was exposed to this chem somewhere,
Okay,
someone's controlling him.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would a chemical make you be able to figure out how to unlock / take off a door? I don't care how much Adderall or like drugs I take. I'm not going to be able to figure out how to even set up microphones for this podcast. Let alone, I don't think like it makes.
Tyler,
It seems too convenient.
It's a fictional universe.
Am I fighting like a point that I'm wrong about? I feel like I'm right. Like
I feel. How about this? I think Kate's right,
Okay.
but I also think that you wrote a better plot.
okay.
Yeah, you make. I'm right. You
I
make
would,
more
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna put it that way.
I thought he was asleep. I only saw it once. I saw it in theaters, but I figured he was a
saw it.
sleeper cell. He got activated.
because they were cutting down the program. That was
But
the
I think
whole
it's
point.
because
is
he
kill
was
every-
exposed to that chemical, and that's how they were able to
Okay,
hack
here's
it.
my argument
So
again.
we're sort of
The
agreeing
next-
with each other.
No, the next scene is operatives trying to kill her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
I'm
Is-
100% right.
Is this new Jason Bourne a book? A Ludlum book?
Is it one of the books?
Wait, I'm on it. I'm on
Okay.
Wiki.
Was
I
Legacy,
loved watching-
I think Legacy was,
Legacy.
Legacy definitely was, yeah.
but they
Really?
clearly ran out of titles.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just making
The
up.
Bourne Conspiracy,
think it
that's a
is.
video
The
game.
the Bourne anniversary.
I loved for the
They
supremacy.
should have just called it Born Again.
Oh,
God, yeah.
Born again Jason.
that's
Reborn. Re-born. You're only born once.
Still Born.
Yo.
Yeah, I think
Yobo.
this is like an original. I don't think it's something
Still born.
born. Oh
Born.
my god.
Oh god.
No?
Oh.
Not good?
I like it. So I feel like we covered a lot.
We talked about Shaky Cam. Jumping
Shaky
through
Cam.
cameras. Franchise.
Is there anything like that's striking? Any like what? Let me go around and ask this.
What are our
Of the whole
predictions
series-
for the new movie?
Okay, we'll start.
We gotta look
Okay,
ahead.
let's do that.
In our last 5
Well, wait.
minutes.
Actually, I want to end on that note. That seems like a good note. That
Okay.
I want to ask you all just real quick. We don't have to go into too deep. What's your favorite scene from the entire series? So, Kate, we'll start with you. I know it's a lot to
Can
throw.
I think about that for a second?
Yeah, so much Matt Damon. The
There's
filter
a lot of
through.
Matt Damon.
I'll start. I mean, I
filter.
feel my,
Yeah.
my instinct is I think it's Morocco, like that whole sequence starting on the bikes and the supremacy and then going to the rooftops where he like wraps the towels around his hand to jump over the
Yeah.
broken glass, goes to the window, fights Desh.
That's
I mean-
awesome. When he just jumps over, you're like, what is he doing?
That's like a
Oh,
15-minute sequence. He's like trying to get through the market to meet his girl. I don't remember if it's Styles or whoever, and then like going to the rooftop to try to get a advantage. It's a very smart. It's kinetic. The assassin's like hunting the girl. He's got to get there in time. Like that's a
It's a
smart
realistic
action
time,
scene.
yeah.
To my
He's
mind, that's where
following
the movie's
her
peak.
broken like cell phone. She kind of leaves a trail.
Right.
Like they show you each reason why he's running a certain direction.
And
like,
then all of a sudden it
this is
slows
buddy.
down. You know, you got the guy like carefully pieing his corners with the silenced weapon, like in the hotel. They're like, and then it's bash. He smokes through the window and like it goes off. That's my favorite scene for sure.
Definitely. That's yeah. I think I will say I think like the bank scene in the first movie is one of my favorite scenes where
The
he's
embassy?
just in the embassy, just him getting to like his passports and stuff.
Yeah.
They're always like seeing him. There's people, citizens running around screaming. He's just casually walking down. He's got headphones in, listening to guards.
He rips off
the
the
map.
emergency plan.
Yeah, he's just looking at it, remering, and you're like, oh, this
Although
is a
he can
spy.
memorize every license plate outside the diner, but he can't be like, oh, okay, I go turn left.
This building is a U shape. Like,
Can't just glance at this and figure it out.
I will say, and also that scene ends on like the perfect Assassin's Creed moment where he's just scaling.
free
wall.
climbing down.
He goes from like, oh god, this is horrifying, to casually just getting down.
And it's great. It's like
huh.
icy, covered in snow, and
Yeah.
like slippery and cold. And
He's got his little red backpack filled with money and
Oh,
stuff.
this little red backpack.
You love that
I
little
love
weapon.
the little red
it's the
backpack.
worst backpack to have as a clandestine
It really
operative
is.
trying to, and he never even
Oh,
changes
you
his
want to
sweater.
talk about that? Jeremy Renner with a bright red thing in the middle of a Alaskan wilderness, a just bright red jacket. Yeah, they'll never see me.
Is it North Face? I'm sure they were
Yeah.
sponsored.
What about you, Gabe? Any idea off the top of your head?
Yeah, just off the cuff. I really like the scene where he's with the. I think he's a reporter, and he's like kind of like escorting him through like the crowded like
The
metro.
guy who looks like he'd be called Nigel.
Right. Yep. He's with a Nigel, and he's like escorting him through this like crowded metro station.
Yeah.
And there's a sniper in like a moving billboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like playing mini golf. He's like gotta time
Yeah.
it between.
Well, also he's telling the guy like, okay, on my mark, you need to move
Yeah.
with this.
Tie your
and
shoe.
that guy starts freaking out because he's like, I think the janitor's one of them.
Right.
I'm gonna run. He's like, the janitor, him? No, he's not a mark.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna make me. He's reaching for. And then he runs off course, and the NSA sees him. And you're like, oh shit, no, listen to Jason Bourne, you idiot.
Right.
And there's a great fight scene there. It cultivates like in like the back loading dock or whatever, and he takes down 3-4 guys.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
real close
And
quarters.
then they bring it up again in the next movie, like That's how they open the next
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
So
I love that
I
scene
think
where-
that's a really strong scene, and I really like it's a really strong visual of the sniper in like the
Yeah.
moving billboard.
Yeah, like he has.
I think it's
only
a
an
stupid
opportunity.
sniping position, but look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always so quick to dismantle their guns.
Yeah.
Alright.
It in real life takes 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Super noisy.
No, they have
In
easily.
movie life, it takes 20 seconds.
And then your first shot's always right on point. You're never
Got
gonna
it.
zero it.
When
I
did
love that scene too because he shoots him in the face and then Matt Damon runs up. Like there's a crowd of people. Matt Damon just runs up, reaches in his pocket, steals everything, runs off. Like that'd be like, oh, that dude was an asshole. What is he doing?
If only he
Like, so
wasn't
many people
disassembling his rifle, he'd be like, "Oh, Jason Bourne's right there."
Yeah, maybe if you kept your rifle. out.
everyone's like, "Oh, is that fugitive that's all over the news?"
like this guy's posters everywhere.
He looks a lot like Matt Damon.
He keeps stealing this dead guy stuff. Hey. Like I feel like there'd be one good Samaritan, like, hey, don't take his like papers out of his bag.
Hey, stop!
Have some respect.
Yeah, he went that way. He's right there.
Hey, excuse me,
Red
he's
backpack.
there.
We'd be having this conversation in your bedroom. I'm in my bedroom. He turns around.
Wait, what's your address?
Hey.
Duh, duh.
Oh baby. Oh baby. The best like theme song easily beats all the James Bond. I love it's Moby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Moby's like
It's abrasive
It's
and
so-
obnoxious. I hate it.
I love it because whenever it cuts in at the end of this movie, I'm like, yeah, there it is. I let the DVD menu play for like an extra 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, oh baby. Just walking around my apartment. So, Kate, we never figured out what was your favorite scene.
Favorite scene.
I'm not gonna go with one scene. It's kind of like a chunk of the scenes put together. I really liked when these stories started to kickstart in Supremacy, like when he allows himself to get caught in Naples. I love that scene where he just completely incapacitates that CIA interrogator.
Oh, yeah, like
and
he
switches
uses-
the SIM cards and then is able to listen into the conversation.
Yeah,
And
he
that's kinda
uses
like-
his Jason Bourne passport.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's wanted, and then he's in a waiting room and he's just like sitting there, just waiting for them to call,
Yeah.
and then boom.
I actually
Jason
love
Bourne
that scene. I
unleashed.
loved how they used that to kickstart the movie. And then right following that, I also really liked when he went to go find that last remaining Treadstone. I guess it's Treadstone at this point. Operative.
Yeah.
And that guy clearly just did not give a shit and tried to incapacitate him. That's the scene with the book, right? Wasn't that the one?
No,
With the
Desh
book?
is with the book.
Dash
Oh.
is with the book, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the German guy. You're thinking like he blows up his apartment.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
blows
so.
that up. I love that
He's
scene
like,
too.
we're the only ones left. Why would I lie to you? And like,
Yeah.
he makes him tie his own
Yeah.
hands up
In the front.
Yeah.
in the front. Oh,
And he's
old
like, oh,
habits, and you're
yeah.
like, oh my god, how many dudes has this guy killed?
Yeah, right?
Like how many scenarios? And it's like even though Jason Bourne is there alone with him, the guy is slowly putting on his handcuffs and continuously walking at him, and you're like, dude, back up, because you know the second he gets within range, he's gonna do something.
Yeah.
I think that's what this series does great. You're constantly worried about the other operatives, and that's why I don't think Legacy does right. Like I never feel
Yeah.
Not-
any realistic weight. I think that's what like the
Because he was a super soldier. It's
Yeah.
like the Superman complex. We're like, oh, you're better than everybody. There's not a lot of stakes here.
But you're also
Except
not
for
as good as
when
Matt
he runs
Damon.
out of pills.
But he's also still not as good as Jason
Oh,
Bourne.
goddamn chems.
There was one great shot in Legacy where he parkours like 3 stories up that building.
That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
He's
that.
Spider-Man that.
He
I mean-
goes up. He goes to the window and pop gets
Yeah,
it.
it like goes all the way through a kill. That was a great shot. That's all I
That's-
remember from it. And he like MacGyver's. He turns into MacGyver and like turns a fire extinguisher into a gun for
Right.
some
Like a
He
nail
puts like a
gun.
nail in a fire extinguisher and like hits it with a hammer.
for no reason. You can
Yeah, and it's just like, why don't you just choke the guy and take his gun?
just punch the dude.
I almost hate it when like spy movies become Home Alone. That's why I
Yeah,
hated
yeah.
Skyfall because half of the
Right,
ending was
the nails
fucking,
and the light bulbs.
It was all oh let's attack this house. Oh, James Bond jerry rigged everything. Oh. And it's like oh when did this become like why doesn't Joe Pesci show up as a bad guy in
Yeah.
a James Bond movie?
Oh, James Bond put feathers in the fan.
Oh, you got me, James.
I disagree. I think that was great. You're
Well,
fortifying against it. There's a massive force outside. You have like shotgun shells.
You're
and that's
stuck in
it.
one
What are you
house.
gonna do?
It's better than Spectre, I will say.
Oh, well, shit, everything was. Quantum of Solace was better than Spectre.
Well, I mean, someone drank oil. I kind of like the ending of Quantum of Solace. Where
I
it's
think
like,
it
you
could have been
drink
great.
this.
A different editor could have turned that film around, but they tried to make it Jason Bourne. Like, they had some gorgeous shots,
That's
but they
actually a
wanted
great way to put it. Yeah.
all of their shots in the movie instead of just the good ones. Like, for instance, we were talking about this earlier, Gabe and I, that the elevator scene where he's like getting arrested by MI6.
Yeah.
And he takes out 3 guys in an elevator somehow. I have no idea how because it's 57 shots, but it's like that must have been interesting choreography.
Yeah,
But they just don't show, yeah.
he's in an elevator and there's all these guards around him, and
He's
then
been
like
disarmed.
and then all of a sudden, he's in handcuffs and there's guards around him, and then 20 seconds later, all the guards are dead and he's out of handcuffs.
Adjusting his collar and
and
kicking
then
the guy's
it's
arm.
just like what I said was what really happened was there was a fly flying around his head,
Yeah.
and all you need to do is put a fly sound effect, and really what it was is he was swatting the fly, and he hit everybody accidentally swatting the fly.
Yeah.
On that point, like a movie that does that good is Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. When Captain America is getting arrested in the elevator, he goes, "Before we start, do any of you want to get out?" And then you see, like in that elevator scene, like it's long take.
Those
his
guys
arm
are
get-
above and beyond. The stunt team behind Captain America, Winter Soldier, I think led by James Young, this coordinator there, who's an Australian guy. They just do such fucking good job. That whole sequence was a
breathtaking.
great action movie. The,
And
the freeway fight.
and for a blockbuster like Captain America, a superhero movie, they show you the action.
yeah, absolutely.
They really like that's what's so nice
And
about
it's
the
smart
Marvel.
action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's unique. It's fast paced. They do a great job.
Sweet. Well,
But no offense to you, Greengrass. You do
Greengrass.
you do a good job too, buddy.
That's what's crazy about him. He was an indie director. This like to do the Marvel parallels. I know we're heading towards like the ending of time. We've been here, but the Marvel parallels is this was the first time a big studio took on an indie director and said, "Here's a giant action series.
Sure,
Do
now that's
something with it."
commonplace.
Now it's like fucking like the Russo brothers did. What was it, Marley and Me? No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Was it You, Me, and Dupree?
You,
It
Me,
was
and
either
Dupree.
yeah.
Did You, Me, and
It's
Dupree.
either Marley and Me or You, Me, and Dupree. I can't.
Same
You know
movie.
what?
Yeah.
We keep
But
talking.
like, who at the studio was like, yeah, those guys, they'll do a great action movie, and
Yeah.
you're like, no, they actually did do like, and James Gunn, like
Yeah.
he did
Yes,
Super,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
amazing, but he also did Scooby Doo, and they give him like something like Guardians of the Galaxy, also another grand slam,
Yeah.
just out of the gates.
Yeah, we got to talk about. I mean, I don't know why Legacy is even considered in the canon, but anyone see Green Zone, which was also
That's
Greengrass
what
and
I
Damon?
want to see that so
It's
bad.
a great film.
Is it
I mean,
good?
It's sort of like a Call of Duty type of story, but like it's super entertaining, great action, and you could almost treat it as like the prequel of Jason Bourne before he like lost his, it
Memory.
fits better than Legacy into the
Yeah.
canon.
I'm definitely gonna watch it
Check
because
it out.
I saw that and I've always seen it for years. I just never went to see it. I always
Yeah,
thought
no
like
one saw it.
it was weird, but like that's what I hate. Oh my god, I can't say that because we're the franchise friend. I was just about to say it's what I hate about franchises. Like movies, like if you put the name on it, people will go. If you had called that the
Cloverfield.
Bourne Zone, people would have gone and seen it.
Right.
And called
But
it a
I think the
prequel.
reason people didn't see it is because they were very burned out at the time.
Yeah,
like we just
that may have
had
been.
3 movies come out.
Because I heard
think.
it was like a little bit of calmer. It wasn't like too action. I don't know.
I
haven't
feel like
seen
it was more of an action movie. I mean, I saw it once. I remember enjoying it, but it was definitely like a very action-packed sort of Hurt Locker style
Okay.
of film.
We'll have to watch that next.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah, check it out.
I'm on a
Let's do
green
it.
grass kick right now. And we'll be back again to talk about Jason Bourne again. Hopefully we can have you guys on.
What's
Maybe we'll
what's
go
the
see-
next franchise in your repertoire?
That's up in the air right now. We'll see what's coming out next. And
The Up in the Air franchise.
up in the air too. Up at it again. up and away.
Clooney's back at it.
We got Clooney. We got Galifianakis is back.
There's The Hangover.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
God,
Franchise.
the-
I would.
Transformers, another great one.
We have so many franchises. That's what's great about this podcast, and I hope you all tune in. Well, I guess that's a good point to end it. Is there any last
Wait,
things
do we
you
want to
guys-
talk about least favorite parts of the movies?
That's actually a good point.
I
Yeah,
got
let's-
one off the top.
Okay, yeah.
Tip of my tongue.
You can
No,
cut
yeah.
that in anyway.
Yeah, we'll cut it. Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to be cutting
So
it.
my least favorite part of the Jason Bourne series is First one, Identity, and it's very small, nitpicky, kind of like, it's silly.
That's what we want to hear.
Where he disarms some guy, final fight, in the top of the stairwell, and he ends up like grabbing his gun upside down and using it and like firing it with his pinky.
God, yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
know.
this is like unique, but like that seems like a super ineffective way to shoot some guy.
Also, if you shoot, like, if you're holding a gun with your pinky only,
Yeah,
wouldn't
you're
it
gonna
just
lose
like
that gun.
like, or break your pinky
And like
too,
that
right?
shouldn't have ever been something you were trained to do. It just seems like a bad idea.
He's always just kind of go with it. Okay, well, I guess I'm holding the gun like this now.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
I guess. What would you say is your least favorite, Kate?
My least favorite, well, going back to my thoughts on Edward Norton, I think his actual first scene when he was speaking about Jason Bourne and his role in Blackbriar and Treadstone, and he tries to make the analogy of it being an infection.
Oh yeah.
And he goes off for like 5 minutes about an infection and how you need to cut off the sickness. It
It's
just
like we
really
get the analogy.
clearly no idea what the hell he was talking about. Just
We get in
really,
there,
like,
we find out that these
Yeah.
these FBI guys let this Treadstone mess metastasize on us.
yeah, like just threw out
Well,
like
we better
medical
pray
jargon
that doesn't happen.
And
The
like
best part is that the whole point of Legacy is that Edward Norton could have done nothing,
yeah.
and they would have been fine. Like he's like the worst antagonist because like he's
Yeah.
the reason that he's like, well, they found out about that shit, so kill all of our great intel. Like even one of the commanders is like, dude, we have a guy in ISIS. Like we're getting groundbreaking intel, and you want us to just kill all these operatives? Like we had a guy
Yeah.
destroy a whole terrorist cell for the next 3 years. One man, 1 day job. You want us to just end that program?
Yeah, spend millions of dollars
mitochondria
training them.
splitting
Like,
it.
the NSA has been fighting to keep
Like,
their
that's literally what
wiretaps.
he's
Like they
saying,
would
yeah.
fight to keep their secret super agents.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like no matter how much they vote.
And
This
that was
big recall.
probably like 10 minutes into the movie, and like that's when I knew.
That's what
That's when I knew.
Legacy takes an hour to get interesting. It's like that's
Does it
the
even
problem.
get it?
I like
I'm
it
gonna
towards the
stop.
end.
I'm just gonna keep going.
When they, I will admit, I did. Like you said, you didn't like it when they were going through like when they were using their passports and they had like that little bit of lead. That for me, when they were finally on the run, going places, I was like, this is a Bourne movie. Finally, took us an hour to get here. I'm enjoying it, but I do see like it's not enough. Like the beginning's too slow, but Jeremy Renner is a good actor. Like he's really good in
Yeah.
these things.
The
That's
town.
a waste of talent.
Town.
The
was
town,
great.
like I even like him as Hawkeye. I love him. Like he brings a lot of charisma, a lot of like he should be the next big action star. I feel bad for him because the same thing happened with Mission Impossible. It felt like they were bringing him in.
It's a huge step down from Hansel and Gretel.
We got a Snow White and the Huntsman 2, but not a Hansel and Gretel 2.
Yeah.
Could have been a franchise.
I actually like Hansel and Gretel. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah, it's cool.
It's alright.
It was all right.
It's better than Brothers
It was
Grimm.
better than the trailer. It's a very tough movie to sell because
It's
it looks
so
hokey.
bizarre, yeah.
You know, and if you're not sort of gradually brought into the world and the technology that they've got,
But if you sit down with a couple beers and you're like, you
Sure.
want to watch Hansel and Gretel?
It's like,
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
And then you watch and you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I like that actress from Quantum of Solace, the redhead Gemma Atkinson or something like that.
Gemma?
Gemma? It's probably
Gemma.
Gemma.
Gemma?
That's her name.
Yeah.
I
James
don't know.
Bond.
Is Gemma a name?
She's the one that painted in oil.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And that's why he's like, drink this in the desert. My name's James Bond. Where are you going to go, James?
great.
Was that
Can I
Daniel
follow
Craig? Where, when did you get here?
Sounds cockney.
you? Hello, I'm Daniel Craig.
I don't want to do James Bonds anymore.
He said, nah, I'm done.
What was it? 90 million offered, or something like that.
Yeah, it was a bizarre. He just said, no, I'm done.
That's so much coke.
Maybe we'll do James Bond, all 27 of them next.
Oh,
So
man.
so
Alright.
my
What was
least
your least
my
favorite?
least favorite part was in the first one.
I already
What-
said the pistol thing.
Oh, all right, never mind. I forgot. Was when when Bourne has this big plan to get a name from the hotel clerk, and she doesn't stick to the plan and just asks him for it by batting her eyes. And I thought that she could have just stuck to his plan.
I actually love that scene. Because it's great when Jason Bourne's like, Oh, I guess that works.
You
Because
go-
he makes a really convoluted plan. It's absurd. You're ready for like this whole like spy scene, and then she's just like, "Can I get the name of this guy?" The hotel clerk's like, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm paid $10 an hour. Anyone for me?"
It's
Yeah,
probably
here it
very
is.
realistic.
I would have just loved for her to like become groomed into that world. Like she was like, it was just like, all right, we're gonna start to like see her get into the groove of things.
That's
just
what
like
it's called.
nope.
Just go with it.
I'm sure it was necessary levity for the pacing of the film.
Yep,
Yeah, probably.
sure,
Shut down.
I think the
Complaint denied.
sure.
My least favorite part would be. I don't like it when dogs are killed off screen. Like to see it happen.
You
No,
want
I'm
to see it.
All right, Clive the dog shooter Owen.
not enough Clive Owen. Such a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Not enough.
He should have been the main villain.
Should have been one and done. That was a weird part where they activate all the spies, and you're like, I guess that's cool because like all around the world they're like, "Yo, Jason Bourne," but like
oh, he's not
The one
here.
guy's with his kid.
he's like,
He's
"Well," pushes his child away.
smacks the kid. I believe.
Pulls a
now.
gun out of his diapers.
Great. So Matt Damon, you're killing it. We're loving you. We
Yep.
hope you come on the podcast.
Love it.
You got some mean hooks.
Love it. Loving you, Matt.
We might all like again, like I'm saying, Jason Bourne's coming out in a couple weeks. I'd love to have you both back. I'm sure you're
Yeah,
gonna see
we
it.
can have an
Wanna
addendum.
follow up?
Yeah, we'll have like a mini episode just of our thoughts on it, and yeah, Jason Bourne, the whole series.
Whoop, whoop.
I like on a series like Kid. It's a great ride.
It's a cool series. There's a lot of really good moments in every single movie.
It's worth
Yeah.
it. Even Legacy has moments where you're like, "That's awesome." Like you
Yeah.
get in it.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
It brought a lot of new things to the spy genre in terms of like how much sort of spycraft you could incorporate and not make it boring. You know what I mean? And a lot of new styles that weren't done before in any of the similar kind of movies or franchises like Mission Impossible or James Bond. So it did a lot of sort of gritty groundbreaking, which was nice. You know, it sort of freed us all up to start treating these movies differently, which is cool.
A little more serious, a little more like real world. Like
Yeah,
it
less
felt
tuxedos.
grounded for the most part. Like it never feels too over the top.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, it's a franchise.
Besides, like maybe shooting through New York. And,
Or
like,
Las Vegas in an armored
like
truck.
there's a point where Jason Bourne's driving a cop car and he gets crashed. Like if you saw like a guy smashing a cop car just on the side of the New York, you'd be like, "That's fucking insane! Like, what's
Whoa.
happening?"
Look at that.
And like everyone just always walks away from these things. Like there's never
Yeah.
Like what are cops doing in this universe? Just whoa. all right.
People having their cell phones.
I am not getting into that right now.
I got some people to just frisk on the sidewalk. That's someone else's job.
Where are our open carry heroes during that?
Yeah.
I also want to just give quick kudos to the series for not driving itself into the ground, which a lot of
It
franchises
did
tend
stop
to do
when it
by
got
the
too
time
much, yeah.
It gets to.
Sorry.
I'm not counting the legacy in this.
Yeah, I feel like that
I'm
was
saying
the-
with the first
Sure.
three, it didn't beat itself into the ground by the time it got to the third one.
Because
So,
Legacy is so many more years afterwards. Like
Yeah.
Ultimatum, I think was 2008, and Legacy was like what another another like 10, like not 10 years. I mean, it's not even
It was a while.
2018
yeah.
yet.
They took a breath.
It's like the longest gap, and I think that was them trying to revitalize. And I think with the new movie, they did exactly what you said. Like the people don't want that; they want Jason Bourne back.
Well,
Right.
we didn't get into predictions yet
Yeah.
about this new one.
You're
And
gonna-
honestly, I just feel like it looks cool, it looks modern, but it's just gonna be the same. They're gonna do a lot of the same tropes. It's gonna be a little bit bigger and bigger explosions and bigger trucks, but it's gonna be the exact same Jason Bourne movie.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of Batman thrown in terms of like his cage fighting days in prison or whatever he's up to. But
That's a
Right,
good way to put it.
right. Batman killing people in the desert.
Jason Batman.
Right.
Batman. Ben
Oh my
Affleck
god,
makes
I
a
would love
cameo.
seeing that. Like in the new Zack Snyder things, he takes off his mask. He's like, "I'm Jason Bourne." And it's just Jason Bourne, Superman. It's like the best like superhero.
yeah, that's gonna be the next V. Is they're gonna do like Jason Bourne versus James Bond versus
I would-
Apocalypse with Wonder Woman.
I would go see that. in a heartbeat. I'm a person who bought 3D IMAX Warcraft tickets. I will go see Jason Bond.
No regrets.
Jason Bond versus James Bourne. Or what is it?
With Austin Powers making a cameo.
Bames Jorn would be
Bames Jorn.
Bames Jorn versus Bames. Anyway.
Bass and Johns.
Bass and Johns.
That sounds Jamaican.
Bass and Johns. Cool. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, guys. Here we are at the wrap up. Please give any plugs that you want, Gabe, James.
Plugs?
Yeah, plugs. Get yourself on Twitter, on Instagram. Where can we meet you? Where can we hit you? Where can we tweet you? DM.
Yeah, well, you can look up 10th Gate Productions.
Spelt out, not a number.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, 10th Gate Productions. Every single letter.
The link to their profile
exhausting,
page will
yeah.
be within the bio of this.
Awesome.
So just check it
And
out.
then we're on Twitter too. It's not the same handle. It is XG Productions. The X standing for 10th and the G standing
like a
for
Roman numeral.
Gate.
Again, we're gonna put all your guys' things.
Cool.
Thank you so
and
much.
then personal handle is GabeCast, CASTE. And make sure you have me on when you're doing the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Well, I was going to say Star Wars would be a good one to discuss.
Star Wars
There's
is a
there's lot
franchise.
there.
Yeah. We got the prequels. We got the sequels.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
We got
Highs
the
and lows.
spin-offs.
What will
Rogue One's
you
coming out. Yeah,
become?
we're definitely getting to that. You can catch me at These Things Inspire on Instagram.
And you can catch me at Kate Strolls on both Instagram and Twitter.
And
I'm not on either of those things.
you're on Instagram as 10th Gate Production.
But I run that, so
Right.
you know.
Great.
Kind of.
I'm in
Right.
some of the pictures.
Perfect.
You want to talk to James? Just let me know.
And Jason Bourne, if you're out there, please.
Please don't kill us with a magazine.
Jason, just come home. We want to know your saying. We just want to know
Jason
your
Bourne's
saying.
iPod is just constant Moby soundtrack. Dun, dun, dun. All right, thank you very much for tuning in for this episode of Franchise Friends. That was the Jason Bourne series. If you do not agree with us, please give us your hard, very harsh comments in the comment section. We want to cry at night. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, we hope that the Cleveland Show comes back on air. Please, Mike Henry, get it going. David Lynch, all of you, we love it.
Please, Seth.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane, get out there, Cleveland Show. All right, thanks a lot, guys. That was the franchise.
We're going to start over.
All right, from the beginning.